DaVinci Resolve for the iPad has a new update. We have now version 20.3. If we come here into the App Store and we click here on what's new, we see the latest update history. It's 4 hours ago when they posted that. Render in the background with iPadOS 26 with M4 and newer chips. Oh, interesting. I will test this in this video if it actually works with an older. I have still the M1 iPad. Improved performance for Resolve FX noise reduction. Media pool metadata ILE, import and export support. Media pool views and states are now retained for each project. Added 2.39 and 2.40 broadcast safe aspect ratio and alpha support for film look creator and film damage and analog damage is also very nice, and general performance and stabilization improvement. So let's take a look at the background refresh thing that they posted before. This is the post on Instagram that Blackmagic posted this morning. Today we announced DaVinci Resolve 20.3, which supports importing, editing and exporting files for up to 32K resolution on Apple M5 Max. It would be interesting to see if that actually works on an iPad with M5 too. Please let me know in the comments. I don't have an iPad M5. Then we have a couple of things here, and then for iPad I highlighted that for DaVinci Resolve for iPad users, background rendering is now available. I have a project here. So how this background rendering works. Let's say, for example, you have your finished project. So everything is done here. I mark an in and out point so that I can tell in the timeline that this is the part that I want. So I have here with this line here, mark this part to the end here. And instead of coming up here to this icon, quick export, because that will always render your timeline immediately, what you can do is you can come to the deliver page. That's the last page here. And now you can actually, I have now my custom settings here, but you can have a different preset that you can select here. And I will call this one now test 1. And then I say add to render queue. The very first time, let's just clear all of this so we start fresh. The very first time I will ask you for a folder inside of your iPad. So you select a folder where you want to copy this one. So then I say here add to render queue. Now this job is in my render queue. I don't have to render immediately. I can now close this. For example, what I can do is I can even tell him now for the second job, I want only this part until here in and out point. So I come back to my deliver page and I say again, add to render queue, which is stupid because now it's the same name. Somehow Blackmagic, if you've seen this, I can't, oh, I can. I just have to be very precise. You can exit out. I want to call this one test 2, add to render queue. So now we have test 1, test 2. Yeah. Now what you have to do, don't render immediately because it will only select the last one. If you want to render all of your projects, all of your settings that you did and now want to go grab a coffee or do something and let this run in the background, I will select all of this and say now render all. Now it will render everything. So what I noticed with my M1 iPad, if I already opened Windows in the window mode, I can now, for example, come in here, browse my website and everything, it still works. But if I open an entirely new app, let's say here Notion, for example, okay, that's window, that's also good. If I open something that was already open in window, it works. But if I, for example, let's open Final Cut Pro. So this opens now in full screen. Even if we are in the window app, so I can drag this down and make it window, but opening a full screen app will cancel my jobs. They're right, it doesn't work, but now everyone with an M5, please test the same. If that behavior doesn't really matter if it's M1 or M5, I would love to know if an M5 can now open a full screen app, because this one here on my M1 will cancel my jobs. But what I can do is, let's stop here again. Okay, that completely froze my DaVinci Resolve. Let's close DaVinci again. This is now window mode. Let's just say we open something already here in Final Cut Pro. By the way, you can always, with Command and space, you can immediately open the search bar here and type in what you want. So in this case, I want to open DaVinci Resolve again. Is it still in the render queue? So you find the render queue here on the top, so you can click on this. Let's just see if that works again. Render all, yes, replace. And now it renders. Like I said before, every window that is already open, I can now use and work in that window. You just have to be careful. I can also go here to my Notions and I can open my Final Cut Pro, which, okay, my iPad is now getting slow. I don't know if you could see that because it is rendering in the background. I'm recording my screen and I'm using Final Cut Pro on top of that one as well, which is kind of sick. So I wouldn't really use background render on my iPad M1. It would be nice to see if an M4 or M5 is so much faster that you can do what I just did, record something, or at least don't record something, but see if you can render and work at the same time on something else. So now the videos are done. So I can go into my files. So we have both videos here, and you see even here on the size, one time we have the full video with 42 megabytes and then just the beginning, the 23 megabytes. So it worked. I was able to render it even on an M1. So I guess that behavior will work on any iPad. That's just my conclusion. But let me know if you have not an M chip, if it doesn't work at all. It could be. But at least if you already are in the window mode and opened a couple of windows, you can at least browse or maybe open Netflix, but don't open it full screen. And again, I asked my question because I need you guys in the community. Does this work on an M5 or M4 iPad Pro? Can you open another app in full screen, or does it still not work? This is my question to you. And by the way, guys, today is still Cyber Monday. So until the end of this day, I still have my Black Friday sale with 30% off for my DaVinci Resolve iPad Masterclass from beginner to pro, where I teach you everything about DaVinci Resolve. And I even have a Final Cut Pro iPad Masterclass, all for the iPad, even beginner to pro. So if you want 30% off, this is the only time in the year where I have this big sale. Then you have to act now. If you see this video and you want to bring your editing skills to the next level, check out the links in the description. You will find both masterclasses and use the code BW30 to get 30% off, and it's only valid until midnight today, and then you can't use the code anymore. And I will not make any excuses. So if anyone comes later like, oh Daniel, I saw your video but it's 2 days later, can you still give me 30%? No, that's the reason why it's Black Friday. So no excuses. So if you want to bring your editing skill to the next level, go click the link in the description. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, ding-a-ding in the bang bang gong. I'm Daniel, and here on this channel it's all about DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut Pro for the iPad. See you in the next video. Bye.